Chair recognizes Senator Paxton to speak on the bill. And then I'm going to go and close with Senator Hager.
Members, I rise today compelled by gratitude, which may sound a little strange tonight. But on Valentine's Day, 1963, my wife, Angela, was born in New Braunfels, Texas, to an unwed mother who she did not know. One day later, she was whisked off to Tarrant County, where she grew up in a really wonderful family in Rendon, Texas. And she grew up, she became a very good athlete. She was a stellar student. She had a great voice. She learned to play the piano and guitar. And the best thing for me was that we had 4 wonderful children, a son and 3 daughters. About 15 years ago, she was asked to sing at a pro-life banquet, and she was looking for music to sing at that banquet, and she couldn't find any songs that were pro-life. And so she wrote a song. And she wrote a song about her mother. She didn't know her mother's name. She didn't know anything about her, but she just thanked her in this song, and she sang this song that she titled Linda. Well, several years later, when I was running for office for the first time, she got a letter in the mail from her supposed birth mother. And we did a little investigation and decided that it was legitimate, and we invited her to our house. And she just wanted to meet Angela and make sure she was okay. And they shared stories and tears and kisses. And then Angela had the opportunity to sing the song to her that she had written about her, thanking her for life. And she sang that song, and I could hardly stand it. They cried. And then she turned to her mother, her birth mother, and said, somehow, Linda, I named this song after you. What's amazing about that is she didn't know her name, but she titled this song after her. And not only do I have my wife, Angela, the gratitude to Linda for having Angela, but my son and 3 daughters. My oldest daughter is 18, Abby. She's on her way to Baylor this year. She's a great leader. She's going to be a nursing student, and she's going to join Air Force ROTC. Just an amazing girl. My 16-year-old, a little more challenged, thinks she wants to be a lawyer like her dad, which I've tried to advise her not to do. And then my 14-year-old wants to be a missionary to China to help girls that were discarded because of the one-child policy in China. And she wants to go there as a missionary to help these girls. So I express my gratitude to Linda today for the lives of 4 women that are such a meaningful part of my life. And I also express my gratitude today for everyone, Senator Hager and others, and hundreds of people that have been involved in crafting this legislation and working on this legislation. Because if this saves one Angela, one Abby, one Madison, one Katie, it's worth it.
Chair recognizes Senator Hager to close.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to my colleagues, all 30 of you in the Senate today. Thank you to our constituents, to the people of the state of Texas, regardless of your opinions, regardless of your thoughts, regardless of, as many people have made reference, to the colors of your shirts. I want to say thank you to so many people who have participated in this legislative process over the last several days, last several weeks, last several months. I can tell you as I stand here today, this has probably been, and not probably, I know, the hardest piece of legislation that I have ever worked on. It will probably be the hardest piece of legislation that I will ever work on, even if I had the privilege to be on this Senate floor as long as you have, Dean. This is something that has weighed very heavy on my heart, on my mind, and literally on my soul. I can tell you that the testimony we have heard from witnesses, Senator Nelson, in your hearing, here on the Senate floor, as well as in the finance room, many of those tragic stories, both from people who supported this legislation and who opposed this legislation. I felt like I should have brought a whole box of handkerchiefs and not just the one in my pocket when I came to those hearings. Many of you may not know, I've said this a couple of days to some people. I said, you know, y'all have seen me for years here. You've worked with me. I don't know if you know, I tend to be an emotional person. I'm the kind of guy that I even tear up with my kids, probably more so than they do at the Disney movies when we get to watch one. I think that I have more tears at that emotional point in the Disney show than my 8-year-old daughter, my 5-year-old daughter, or my 5-year-old son. And sometimes I try to hide it over in the corner because I think they're probably wondering, what is their dad doing? But I can tell you, the tears that I have shed are real. They are some that have weighed heavy on my heart. And the reason is because I care. And I care about not only what Texas is today, but what Texas will be tomorrow, what Texas will be next week, next month, next year, in the next decade, and for the next 50 years. I do have respect for people. I have respect for every single one of those people that came and testified. Whether I agree or disagree, they stood in a line for hours. They sat in the gallery for hours. I sit on this Senate floor, and when we had a moment and a break, I got to go in the back and have a drink of water. Because I don't know about you people, but my back is killing me. And I need a lot of Advil right now. But you have been here all day. And I think that is wonderful, regardless of how you feel for or against this legislation. I just want to say thank you again for everybody, for all the members in this process. This has been a long day. It has been a long week. It has been a long few months. But I can tell you, it is something that it should be this long of a process, because this is a very difficult, emotional issue that we have dealt with here. And I want to say thank y'all. And with that, Mr. President, I would move passage to engrossment of House Bill 2.
Thank you, Senator. Members, the issue before us is that Senator Hager moves passage to third reading. They just changed the board.
I move
Moves
passage to third reading.
reading
Thank you.
of House Bill 2. The Secretary will call the roll.
Birdwell, Campbell, Corona, Davis, Duell, Duncan, Ellis, Eltife, Estes, Frazier, Garcia, Hancock, Hager, Hinojosa, Huffman, Lucio, Nelson, Nichols, Patrick, Paxton, Rodriguez, Schwartner, Sulliger, Taylor, Uresti, Vandepute, Watson, West, Whitmire, Williams, Saffarini.
Members, there being 19 ayes and 11 nays, House Bill 2 passes to third reading. The president's desk is clear. What we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to move and ask Senator Whitmire for a motion to adjourn until 11:50 this evening.
I so move, Mr. President, that we adjourn.
Members, you've heard the motion by Senator Whitmire. Is there objection from any member? Chair has no objection, and then the Senate will stand adjourned until 11:50. I just don't want people to leave. While we're doing this, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to start a new legislative day. And so when we gavel in a few minutes, the secretary is going to call the roll, and we're going to have a prayer. And when we do that, I'm going to ask everyone, if you would, to please rise. And then when we're through with that, then we'll be in a position to take a motion from Senator Hager. So it won't be much longer, but if you would bear with us.